The regular meeting of the City Council held in Council Chamber on Thursday, May 28, 2015 at 7:00 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on May 21st, 2015 at 6:15 p.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. Absent were Councilor Epley, Council President Sargent presided. Senior Councilor O'Keefe moved to dispense with the reading of the record of the previous meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries. President Sargent requests that everyone please rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilor Fury.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony. We have 3 people signed up. Please keep in mind the public testimony is limited to 15 minutes total, but we will give as much latitude as possible. Emily Udi, please approach the podium. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emily Udi. I live at 8 Buffum Street, and I am here representing Historic Salem for the issue of the Community Preservation Commission's recommendations. I appreciated the conversation that I listened to at the committee earlier. To address that issue, I wanted to talk about the potential that the CPA has to do great good in Salem. There is a statewide database of funded projects available at communitypreservation.org, and I would encourage city councilors to browse the project file as a way to see what type of projects might benefit your wards and our city as a whole. There is an eye-opening variety of preservation projects. A large portion of those projects are municipally owned, but the benefit of this statewide program extends to historic sites owned by nonprofits, social service nonprofits operating out of historic buildings, churches, synagogues, schools, and even private homeowners, as long as they meet the requirement of being eligible for National Register and being significant to the history of this town or city. Now, I know that these examples are from other communities, and in Salem we certainly do things the Salem way, but the Salem way should leave no doubt that we honor the importance of historic preservation in this nearly 400-year-old city. Preservation of historic resources benefit the entire community, from homeowners preserving the character of their neighborhoods to the state preserving their historic holdings. We all share the history of where we came from. As a society, we acknowledge that providing affordable housing, open space and recreation, and preserving historic resources are important, but they are not only the responsibility of the city. For example, Salem has an efficient mechanism for providing affordable housing through the nonprofit CDC. In the same manner, Salem has an efficient mechanism for preserving many historic resources through the work of nonprofits that operate from historic buildings. At current staffing and tax levels, the city would be overwhelmed by the task of operating all affordable housing, just as it would be of maintaining and operating all historic resources. The city is under no obligation to maintain privately held historic buildings, but we as a community certainly do benefit from their presence. These benefits are seen in the economic impact, the culture of our city, the educational value to ourselves and our children, and by providing a sense of place that encourages community involvement and citizenship. Let's not limit the ability of CPA to do good in our community. Restricting CPC funds to city-owned buildings is not only in conflict with the intent of the act and many who voted for it, but is also simply a short-sighted precedent to set. Please consider that in the 2 years we have had CPA, the majority of the applications have come from city projects. The city's holdings are definitely benefiting from the passage of this act, and this proportion of funding is unlikely to shift much in coming years. City needs can be met, nonprofit needs can be met, and unforeseen needs from others in the city can be met if we can see beyond our individual agendas and consider the needs of the community that this act is meant to preserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Carol McLaughlin?
Karen McLaughlin, 68 Dearborn Street. I don't want to be too repetitive, but I know that there are some people here that weren't here a few minutes ago when you asked me to address some questions, but I really just want to reiterate my confidence in the CPC's committees, their work, the number of hours that they spent reading grants, visiting sites, and ensuring that those projects that provide a benefit to the citizens of Salem were the ones that they recommended. So I just reiterate my request that all of the projects that were recommended by the committee be funded. Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. Former Mayor and City Councilor Stanley Yusevich.
Thank you, Mr. President. I won't belabor any points I've already made, but I will tell you that there is nothing more consistent in life than change. And change occurs in two ways. First by design, and second by neglect. The Community Preservation Act offers each community the ability to take care of that neglect piece. And here in Salem, it's a tool that is well valued and recognized. And I want to thank the committee for all their work and all the applications that they had to go through. I thank the City Council for their consideration, and it's my hope that the measure will prevail. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Yusevich. That's the last of the list for public testimony. Any testimony by city councilors? Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to make a couple of quick announcements that there's a lot going on in Ward 6 right now. On Saturday, on May 30th at 8:30 in the morning, there will be a Forensic Green Lawn cleanup at Green Lawn Cemetery. And the Mac Park Neighborhood Association will also be having their annual yard sale on June 6th.
Thank you, Councilor Gerard. Any further comments? Being none. Hearings, being none. Appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Craig Thomas to serve as a member of the Renewable Energy Task Force with a term to expire on December 3rd, 2015.
Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move for confirmation by roll call vote, but under discussion.
Confirmation by roll call vote, under discussion.
Although I don't know Mr. Thomas personally, looking at his resume, he's clearly very qualified. I'd like to take the time to thank him for volunteering his time on such a board. And if he is here today, I'd ask for us to approve it, and if it is approved, for suspension of the rules to allow him to speak if he is here.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Any further comments? No further discussion? Being none, is Mr. Thomas here? We're going to have to hold under the rules, isn't it?
I believe we will have to hold it under the rules.
Okay, this will be ordered held underneath the rules. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Paul Visica to serve as an alternate member of the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire on March 1st, 2016.
Councilor Siegel.
Okay, is Paul here? I believe he is. Okay. Just want to make sure. Again, I'd like to take this time looking at Mr. I don't want to mispronounce the name. Is it what is it? Vachica. Mr. Vachica. Looking at his resume, very impressive. He was a member of the Board of Trustees of both Hamilton Hall and the House of Seven Gables. Very impressive resume. He's definitely a added benefit to the city having him on the board. I'd like to thank him for volunteering, and I'd ask for a roll call vote and approval for Mr.
Thank you,
Vachica.
Councilor Siegel. Any further discussion? Being none, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Turiel?
Yes.
Councilor Siegel?
Yes.
Councilor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Gerard?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Famico?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes. Thanks. On the matter of the mayor's appointment of Paul Vachica to serve on the zoning board of appeals, 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor Siegel.
Mr. President, I move for suspension of the rules to let Mr. Vachica address the council if he so chooses.
Councilor Siegel moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Mr. Vachica.
I'd like to thank the members of the City Council, of course, Lynn Duncan and Mayor Driscoll for the appointment. When my wife and I moved here almost 25 years ago, we were quite pleased to raise our two daughters here. We could never imagine over the past 25 years how amazing this city has grown and what an urban center it has become. And I would be very proud to serve on the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Carol Hamilton to serve as a member of the planning board effective June 19, 2015, with a term to expire July 1st, 2016.
Councilor Turiel.
Hey, Mr. President, I move this be held under the rules.
All right, Councilor Turiel moves this be held under the rules. All those in favor, all those opposed? Held under the rules. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Barbara Soroyce to serve as a member of the beautification committee with a term to expire on June 1st, 2018.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President, I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Turiel moves confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. She does a wonderful job, as do all the members of that committee, of working really hard to keep Salem's public places as nice as we possibly can. They're out there all the time. They're out there this week working on the center of Washington Street, and they run cleanups and all sorts of work in the parks, and they do a terrific job.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. Any further discussion? Being none. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the mayor's reappointment of Barbara Soroyce to serve as a member of the beautification committee with a term to expire June 1st, 2018. 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Councilor Turiel. She's not present, so no need to
No,
speak.
it's a reappointment.
Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Matthew Vino to serve as a member of the planning board with a term to expire June 1st, 2020.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Turiel moves confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pretty much all of you know Mr. Vino from his previous time in this chamber, where he did my job before I had it far more capably than I will ever do it, I'm sure. But we're glad that he's still serving the city and glad that he's helping out in the planning board.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. Any further discussion? Being none. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the mayor's reappointment of Matthew Vino to serve as a member of the planning board with a term to expire June 1st, 2020. 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Robert Callahan to serve as a member of the Park and Recreation Committee with a term to expire June 1st, 2020.
Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Councilor Siegel moves confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion.
I'd just like to thank Mr. Callahan for going in for another 5 years, and thank him for the great job he's done.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Councilor Fury.
President, fellow members, many of us recognize Mr. Callahan for his long service in the police department. Mayor Yusevich and Mayor Driscoll, Mayor Harrington, he served under with distinction and pride as one of Salem's best for the Salem Police Force. I have the good pleasure of having Mr. Callahan as my boss at the PBS Museum. He now has an afterlife after retirement in the police department. He's now one of the heads of security at the PBS Museum. He's a great boss to work under, and we're very lucky as Councilor McCarthy recognizes his role on the Park and Recreation Department. He's invaluable. He's a wonderful, wonderful asset to the city of Salem. Mr. Callahan, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Fury. Any further discussion? Being none. On the motion by Councilor Siegel for confirmation by roll call vote, Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel? Yes. Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes. Thank you. On the mayor's reappointment of Captain Callahan to serve as a member of the Park and Recreation Commission with a term to expire June 1st, 2020. 10 councilors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The matter carries. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Bruce Hall to serve as a constable with a term to expire March 27, 2015.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Moved, received and filed.
Segal moved, received and filed. All those in favor, all those opposed? Received and filed. Communications from the mayor. Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we go out of order in the agenda to address committee reports on page 11.
Councilor Turiel. Under discussion? No discussion being none. On Councilor Turiel's motion that we move to take that out of order. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Let's move to page 11, committee reports. Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. The City of Salem City Council, May 28, 2015, the Committee on Administration and Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of appropriation in the amount of $650,975 for fiscal year 2016 CPA projects, has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a meeting that lasted the better part of an hour just now, which is why we started late, for those of you watching on TV, because we ate into the rest of the time. I apologize. We had questions on several of the matters that were enclosed here within the fiscal year 2016 project listing, in particular the work that was planned for Hamilton Hall and the House of Seven Gables. They were fairly small amounts in the context of all the things that we are using the CPA to improve and enhance around the city over the next year, and all the projects that we have taken on. But the fact that these were the first time that the city, that under the CPA, that we were taking any of the CPA funding and using it, and grants are only our second year under the CPA, but the fact that this was the first time that we were using any of this in some of our private nonprofit institutions led to many members of the council wanting to ask questions about this and discuss the issue. So again, I'll say it's completely legal within the bounds of what the CPA permits. Absolutely isn't accepted in legal activity, but again, many of the members did have questions about it, and if we want to bring these forward again, we do have available to us to ask any other question. We have people from the planning department and members from the CPA committee still in chambers, but the committee itself has gone through it and recommends approval.
Councilor Turiel. Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, as we just went through this whole business about public funds being used for private purposes, and I sort of given it up because evidently they have the votes. I don't believe public money should be used to fix a roof at the Gables, House of Seven Gables. If they let kids go in up to 15, like Tom Fury talks about, his Chinese student, he came over, he knew where the House of Seven Gables was. But they're 5 years old, they get in after 5, they have to pay. So it's a paying venture. I don't think public funds should be used for private repairs. Hamilton Hall is different. Hamilton Hall is public, you don't charge to get in there. You can walk in anytime, if the door's open, sometimes I would buy. But I don't think that's okay for them and the housing and all that, but not for the Gables. Might I just add that perhaps the Gables will have to have some other renovations down there. Perhaps they might think, the board of directors might think of increasing the age for youngsters that come with their parents. I mean, I have 5-year-old grandkids. They don't know what end of the walk from another, let alone know whether that's historic significance or not. So we'd like 15 or 16, and boy from China, they come here, it's important. Why charge them to go in there and look at all of this important, this author that's very historic, lived here, and let them up the age. But right now I support everything else in there, but not the roof. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor O'Keefe. Councilor Fury.
Wherever you go in the city of Salem, it's history and culture, a legacy that we should all be proud of. And even in this very city hall, it's the second oldest city hall in the country outside of St. Augustine, Florida. Active city hall, even the city hall that's been restored and fixed up. The old town hall that's being fixed up now, down the street, it's being fixed up. Amazing history throughout wherever you go. I had the chance and opportunity and honor of taking several young people from China to haunted happenings, and they represented People magazine on the internet and on the magazine-wise throughout the city of Salem, our large haunted happenings. Where did they ask to go to? People magazine and the People's Republic of China. Where do they ask me to go to and take them on a tour? One over there, the House of Seven Gables, the Peabody Essex Museum, the Witch Museum, the Witch House, Hamilton Hall. They know, as I said at subcommittee meeting, when I went to China myself, to visit China for a whole month before the Olympics, I went to just a place called McDonald's, a 3-story McDonald's in downtown Beijing. Wonderful opportunity, eating Chinese food in Beijing, in McDonald's. The young man that came up to me, fluent English, second language, primary language, in China. Young man came up to me and he says to me, read my name tag, Mr. Fury, where you from? I said, Salem, Mass, with great pride and love. And he says to me, without a drop of a hat, without a bat of an eye, he says, House of Seven Gables, Peabody Essex Museum, witch trials. We are the custodians of this great, rich legacy. We need to preserve and protect it. And that's what the Community Preservation Act is all about. We fought hard to get it under the Youth administration. We fought hard to get it again, second time around in the Driscoll administration. It's working for every citizen in the city of Salem, every single ward, and the people from all around the world. We are making Salem shine by this Community Preservation Act. For our local cities and towns, half the cities and towns in Massachusetts have CPA. They couldn't do it without the CPA. Salem, we just argued in a subcommittee meeting about bicycles in Salem. Is it the right time to invest in bicycles? I say yes then, I say yes now. I say yes to the Community Preservation Act for the future of Salem, for the future generations. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor Fury. Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you. I wasn't at the prior meeting, so I might have missed this, but I do realize that any time we give money, the group, in this case Hamilton Hall or House of Seven Gables, is going to have to sign a preservation restriction. And when Jane Guy was up here speaking, she had mentioned that we could change that around a little bit and put certain things. So maybe it's something that if we do pass it tonight, we can pass it with certain restrictions, maybe changing the ages, instead of 5, it's 10. That's stuff that we could put in the restrictions, and I don't see why not. And that's all I'd like to address at this time.
Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I've listened for a little more than an hour at the last meeting. I didn't speak up during the meeting. I saved it for the formal meeting. I'm going to support this, and I'm going to support this inclusive of the Gables and the Hamilton Hall projects. Not just because it's legal, which is actually a very good reason to support it. It is legal. We are allowed to do it. It's written right into the CPA regulations. But I'm going to support it because, in my opinion, it's just the right thing to do. I have some institutional memory also, not near as much as my colleague here from Ward 7, but I remember that building being moved vaguely from Union Street. And the fact of the matter is, if that building, no matter what situation led up to the purchase by the House of Seven Gables, if that building had not been purchased by the Gables, it wouldn't be around today. It would have fallen victim to an arsonist or the wrecking ball. That site is a parking lot now, and if the Gables had not bought this building, it would still be a parking lot today, not unlike the parking lot directly across the street on Herbert Street, where the school used to be, which I believe was a victim of a fire. In the 60s and 70s, down in the Derby Street area, and also in a few other places in Salem, we were the victims of a lot of sudden fires and a lot of old houses. I lived on Palfrey Court in the 70s, where a house that was built in the 1700s, next door to us was an empty lot where a house had been burned down by an arsonist that was even older. There were fires all along Derby Street. The parking lot next to the VFW now once had a building that was built in the late 1600s, possibly the early 1700s, victim of a sudden fire. Who knows how those fires got caused or who did those, but the fact of the matter is, this building and some of the others on that Gables site would not be here today. We have a partnership with the Seven Gables. It is a non-profit. They're not making money down there. I wouldn't say that they operate on a shoestring budget. There are people down there making a living, but we do have visitors that come specifically to visit there, to visit those sites. It is a partnership with the city of Salem, whether we want to admit it or not. We are partnered with all of these nonprofits in Salem. It's the right thing to do. We should approve this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Legault. Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Mr. President. So Caroline Emerton was a philanthropist and a preservationist back in her day. as alluded to just now by the good ward, or councilor at large, it was back in 1958 that the house in question at the House of Seven Gables was moved from one area to another. At that same time in Salem, we were undergoing urban renewal. If it wasn't for the preservation at its time, we might not have some of the sites that we have today. With that, though, you have to realize, and we all do realize, you can't recreate this history. You can't recreate these sites. It's not like having a Disney World amusement park. This is architecture of the time. It's the history. It's the story of a city. We have people in the city that care deeply about this, and it's the stories they tell as well. So I'd like to thank all the members of the Community Preservation Commission, or committee, those in the planning department, those in the audience that are here tonight to be here on these, as well as the emails I've received and the calls. Without preserving these places, it makes it so future generations are unable to see these. Whether it's the chapel at Green Lawn, which I'm thrilled to see thriving now, or the Forest River Park trails, Hamilton Hall with the windows. I've recently found out through my brother who purchased a home in the historic district how expensive historic preservation really is. We've seen it in the chamber itself when we had windows taken out, our ceilings redone. And this chamber, so people know, this goes way back to 1838. This is the original furniture. The paintings on this wall will soon be cleared up. And actually, quite a few years ago, the painting in the mayor's office, when it was cleaned up, they discovered a rainbow above George Washington. They never knew it existed until then. I am in support of all these projects going before us as they were vetted out. There was ample time for questioning. As we all know, this does cost money to preserve it, but by preserving it, we are keeping it moving forward. I had a discussion with Hamilton Hall earlier, and they're more than welcome to make it so that everyone knows you can go into Hamilton Hall. It is beautiful. If you take the trolley tour, they talk about the floor bouncing up and down. And the church that used to be across the street that they'd watch to see the people leaving dancing. I commend everyone for all of this work, and I'll be voting in support of these projects tonight. Thank you.
Good. Councilor O'Keefe.
Councilor Sergeant at large.
Thank you, Councilor O'Keefe. I don't doubt that these are good projects and wonderful places. My main question is with the timing, with the CPA being so new, that there's so much to be done with city property, city projects. I mean, just down the street from Hamilton Hall, we see the senior center, a historic building in its own right, a former high school, built in 1850 to combine 3 Salem high schools. My grandfather went there. Much disrepair. The Widow's Walk in there could, would be a great place to preserve historically, those kind of things. Parks all the way around the city, the library, Old Town Hall itself. There's so much more work to be done with city property. My question is with the timing of this. We could get into so many projects that aren't owned by the city, from churches alone to buying land to use for public parks, all kinds of things like that. But what my feeling is that these two projects should be done with public-private fundraising. I would be glad for this council to publicize, generate, do a fundraiser there, raise the money that we're going to give tonight, that's through public money, voluntarily, so people can donate on a volunteer basis. The CPA is not voluntarily. It's by law. And in essence, it's a tax, whatever you want to call it, a fee, but for the homeowner that doesn't want to pay it, it's like a forced donation. And most of them expect that donation to be used on city-owned property. That's why I have difficulty so early in this process to be using it on something that's not owned by the city. And we want to help the nonprofits. And a lot of the emails that went around were saying there was some kind of thing going on against nonprofits. It wasn't the case whatsoever. It's more in support of city-owned property, city-owned parks, city-owned playgrounds, city-owned public housing buildings, those kind of things. That there's so much that needs to be done around the city. I feel the money should be used for those projects right now. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Councilor O'Keefe.
I move for a division of the question.
Under discussion? Councilor O'Keefe's
I move
motion.
that account number 2015-2003 Fund, Historical Restoration, 7 Gables, Hawthorne Birthplace Roof, 20033165806XX, be excluded from the appropriation.
Council O'Keefe, on a division of the question, we would vote each one yea or nay. We wouldn't be
Well,
excluding them from
I
vote.
just want to eliminate one. All the others, I'd say yes.
Right, but on a
It's up to
division,
your ruling, sir.
on a division of the question, we would vote for both just separately.
I would say if the city clerk, you just take one item out, all the others would stand on their own and be incorporated into one vote. If you want me to go individually, I will. I think
believe
it's
it-
easier to just take it out and vote on all the others and then vote on the, if you're taking it out, it's dead, as the council will know. If I ask for a division of the question, take it out, it's gone.
In fairness to the good work
All right,
done by the
okay,
committee,
however you rule.
I would ask that a division of the question be voted upon where the public is on one side, the private on the other side, and they're both voted yea or nay.
Okay,
Under discussion.
all right, so,
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I'm not going to sit here and pick and choose about which nonprofit is more worthy or which project is more beneficial to the city, because they both are. We had a long meeting beforehand, and I'm just going to briefly hit some of the things I hit before. The House of Seven Gables, I can speak to the House of Seven Gables, because of my history there, because my father used to do some contract work, maintenance there, and I was, as a young boy, went there and I did some work on all the buildings in that facility at one time or another. And the fact that my wife used to work at the Salem House for 20 plus years as the after-school coordinator and the summer camp, she used to run all the summer camp programs, 90 kids a day for 3 sessions all summer. The benefit that the House of Seven Gables does to the city as a whole and to Ward 1, which I can specifically speak of, is I could go on for hours. I'm not gonna.
Council McCarthy, might I suggest we vote to divide the question and then...
He hasn't even got a second yet. You put it under discussion, so.
Okay.
So if
Discussion
I got
dividing
just
the
one
question.
second, to sit here and try to divide the question between a bunch of projects that the committee went through and vetted out through the process, if that's what the good Ward 7 Council wants to do, that he can try to get a second and try to get the vote on that. But I just publicly want to say that to separate nonprofits from public is, I mean, is from what I've heard from the council, he just wants to eliminate one for whatever reason, and he's picking and choosing, which is fine. That's his decision. But I'm just going to say that they're all very qualified. They all went through the process. We appointed 2 members of the committee. Mr. Moriarty and Mr. Canaccio both went through the process through this committee. We have 2 members that we appointed. They did their job as well as all the other representatives that come from all the different boards as per the rules. And they came up with a list. I think it's a very good list. I think it's it provides a big cross section, and I think it should be all voted together. But if the good council wants to do it, then if he gets a second, then I'll be more than willing to take that vote.
Council Toriel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Being under discussion, I had my concerns about the choices, and I think they were addressed adequately at this time for my purposes. And I understand my priority is to try and fund the city's needs ahead the city's declared needs before we start opening the gates to the outside nonprofits, or to the city nonprofits and private institutions that also are eligible to benefit from this under the CPA law. So, we're not doing something that other cities don't do by doing this. It's just really the first time here. I wanted to be convinced that the city's needs had been taken care of first before we opened up this, and frankly, I have been convinced sufficiently on this matter that I don't have a problem with this going forward as is. If Councilor O'Keefe's motion is seconded and we do divide the question up between the other operations and these 2 that have raised the most questions, that's fine if that goes forward, but I'll support them both.
Thank you, Councilor Toriel. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you. I'm actually pretty much in favor of this. I'd like to add a caveat, and hopefully I'd like to add a friendly amendment somewhere down the line that these will be granted on an acceptable preservation restriction acceptable by the city council. We have a little leverage here to put on, and we can make changes, is my understanding on this. I don't think we should let this go by the wayside. With that said, if a fellow member of the council wishes to have, be heard, or to have something divided, I'm going to support that. I might not vote the way he or she wants it to be, but if somebody wants the question to be divided, I will second that. And we can have the question divided.
Thank you, Councilor Segal. Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, I'm going to question this whole process. We discussed it before it was seconded, and now we're discussing it after it's been seconded. To be honest with you, I don't quite follow this process. I don't think that we should have discussed this at all until a second had been proffered. Simple misstep, I think, but I think that we're violating all kinds of rules right here, right now. That being said, I'm opposed to splitting this. We appointed 2 members, as the councilor from Ward 1 pointed out earlier. They had lots of meetings. Every councilor in this chamber here right now, including one that is not here, all had opportunities to attend those meetings. I believe I may have attended one early on. I didn't stay for the whole meeting. I left to go to perhaps a planning board meeting or another one. We all had our opportunities to go to these meetings. We all had our opportunities to weigh in on what they were discussing. We also have an opportunity to go online and look at the minutes of those meetings, which I've done 2 or 3 times, just so that I would be up on what they were doing. They've given us their recommendations, and now we want to have these big discussions. We had the opportunity for these discussions. We all could have weighed in. We all could have contacted Mr. Moriarty. We all could have contacted any of the members of this commission and given them our objections or our thoughts on it. I will oppose splitting the issue. I will support the entire matter with a yay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Legault. Councilor Giroux.
Thank you, Mr. President. As someone who did attend at least one of the meetings and listening to how this commission has gone through the decisions that they've made, I can't commend them enough for all the work that they did. And these are projects that they have thought through and poured over for a great deal of time and took a lot of consideration in choosing these. I don't think that it's a good idea to separate one out. If we're going to divide it, we have to divide it out by all of them. But I think that in terms of our discussion from earlier about what the House of Seven Gables does, what Hamilton Hall does for the city, what my concern had been was that this is something that all taxpayers in Salem pay for, and it's important that all Salem taxpayers do receive a benefit from this. And as we discussed, that the House of Seven Gables is free for Salem residents, and as former Mayor Yusevich discussed with Hamilton Hall and my colleague from Ward 2, that Hamilton Hall is open for all Salem residents, and as the former mayor discussed as well, that they are looking at doing other events for nonprofits in the city, and they have even opened up the hall for the Salem School. So this is something that is benefiting from all of, that Salem is really benefiting. And furthermore, per the Chapter 184 of the Community Preservation Act, we can't discriminate against nonprofits. We have to include them in this. So I support this.
Councilor O'Keefe. You. Thank you, Councilor O'Keefe. Mr. President, I don't believe anybody's discriminated against anything. There's very few things in life are unanimous. There's a feeling among a good amount of Salem residents that this money that they're paying in taxes should be spent on city projects, city properties. And someone has to represent that also. There's not every single person in Salem is in favor of that. So there's no discrimination there. It's a chance, if you're for both of them, you vote yes twice. Myself, I would like to be able to vote for most of this. I would like to be able to vote for the public projects. At this point, I would like to not vote for the private projects. All that leaves is to vote no on everything. So if we divide it, you get to vote twice and you get to vote your conscience on it. So there's no discrimination. It's just a matter of being able to support the public projects and not the private projects. There's no discrimination against nonprofits. They've all helped us in certain ways along in our lives, and they've done good work. So thank you.
Mr. President, I think before we had this discussion, my motion should have been seconded. We were discussing this matter without being seconded, so a parliamentary procedure, I think it should have been seconded to be on the table. And personally, I resent some of the comments that my colleagues have made to me, especially the distasteful, the council at large said to me, used the word distasteful about my...
I did not.
You did
Councilor
not?
O'Keefe.
I did not.
Councilor O'Keefe, address the chair, please.
I'm appalled at my colleagues. I have a right to, you're appropriating public, Councilor, you're appropriating public money for a private purpose, and I think that's wrong.
Thank you, Councilor O'Keefe.
Move the
Councilor
question.
McCarthy.
Move the question.
I'll second it. We'll divide the question.
It's been seconded. It's been seconded.
So been seconded?
Councilor Segal seconded.
Move the question.
On the motion to divide the question, all those in favor? All those opposed? We are.
How do you
the
vote?
count. We gotta do the count. In favor again? Dividing the question?
Divide the question. I'm not afraid to vote twice. Divide the question.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yeas, 5 nays.
4 days.
The matter carries.
Divide the question.
Divide the question, public versus private. The two, so we'll separate out the two private ones, the House of Seven Gables and the Hamilton Hall.
Mr. President?
Councilor Famico.
Just a point of clarification. Would the nonprofits be considered the North Shore Community Development Coalition, Hamilton Hall, as well as
No,
the House of Seven Gables?
no, the housing. The only two we wanted to separate out were the
We just
House of
separated
Seven Gables and Hamilton Hall.
But if it's nonprofit versus public, the Community Development
It's not.
Coalition would be considered nonprofit?
But, okay, then we have to look at that again.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, you rule on matters, not me or the audience on this matter. You rule on these petitions before us,
Okay.
not individual councilors.
Councilor Go.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, and with all due respect, the fact of the matter is, we did move to separate nonprofits. I do believe that was the terminology that was used. Am I
No.
correct in that? What did we move to
No,
separate?
it was public versus private. Privately owned. So there was a,
And the committee...
Mr. Chairman?
North Shore City...
President, I read specifically that line. I did not read anyone else but that line, that appropriation, that number,
right.
okay? Nothing else. Everything else remains the same.
Which project is the appropriation for?
The ones I wanted discharged out was 20033165806XX. That's all I wanted, all the others are fine.
Which one is that?
Have you got the matter before you?
I don't have the list of them. Which one is it?
House of Seven Gables.
Yeah, historical list, right there, that one. Oh, Hamilton Hall's okay. That's fine. They don't charge you, get in there.
Oh,
233.
You understand, I mean, explain to council what I've suggested. Here, circle it.
we were gonna divide out.
No, I don't want it, no, Hamilton Hall's fine. Let the colleagues know what's going on,
All right,
especially Councilor Gold.
all right. Councilor Keefe just asked to divide one out.
Mr.
The
President,
House of Seven Gables.
may I? I believe I still have the floor.
Councilor Go.
I don't believe I yielded the floor. I
Councilor
object
Go.
procedurally to a lot that's going on here right now.
Right.
I never said anything against any colleague. I never used the word
Record will show
distasteful.
otherwise.
My
Yeah.
question is, it's not the CDC. It's not Hamilton Hall. It's just it's just that one line item.
That's right.
That's the way the vote went. It wasn't quite the way I wanted to, but that was the way the vote went.
I'm not sure that this is legal, what we're doing here, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Councilor Girat.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just for a point of clarification, the organization and object line, was that 2003316-5806XX?
Councilor Keefe.
Is
Yes,
that correct?
yes.
Because that also includes the Charter Street Burial Ground. is
That's not-
also- That's the same organization and object. That includes the council chambers.
Not at that appropriation of $19,850.
But when you specify the organization and the
That's
object.
part of the whole line. Look, draw a circle around it.
This is,
Yeah, the city.
It's right here. It's the
Yeah, that
same-
one.
But look, it's the same number. She's telling me
Yeah,
this is the same number.
but it's not the same amount.
I know, but you cited that number.
Why don't you ask the city clerk?
They He's citing this number, right? And this is the same number here
Yeah.
and there. Right here.
I'm surprised that Councilor will go. That's what he said to me.
Can't cite the number. He's got to, he's citing this line, this amount.
That number includes like about 6 projects all with the same number.
Ask-
So we have to have a
ask Jane Guy
reconsideration.
how
No, we have to have a, just kind of immediate reconsideration
All right.
in hopes that it will prevail. We're gonna have to keep things together, yes or no, okay?
Okay.
All right?
This,
Council?
Councilor,
There are a number, that number refers to many issues. So what I'm gonna ask for is immediate reconsideration in hopes that it will prevail.
Move for immediate reconsideration in the hopes that it will prevail.
Second, on the motion for immediate reconsideration in the hopes that it will prevail, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it, the matter carries. With this in mind, we must keep this all as one, okay? This might be a matter to take up for next year's CPA, okay? I believe it's a time to move forward with this. There may be some, my own self included, some dissatisfaction with a few of the projects, but I believe in the interest of the city, it's time to move this forward as one vote. We must stand together. The matter of the personal versus private, I believe we should have committee and move it towards next year's Community Preservation Act. We may not get all we want this year, but I believe in the interest of unity, we must move this forward as one issue with every project, please. Any further discussion? Before us is the whole question. Okay? Councilor, go.
Thank you, Mr. President, through you. And I just want to state for the record that I said nothing personal directed toward the Ward 7 councilor. I did not use the word distasteful or any term even slightly associated with the term distasteful. So if the Ward 7 councilor was offended by what he perceived that I said, I do apologize for that. However, I said nothing of the sort. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for being so gracious, Councilor Legault. Now, I believe on the whole question, on the adoption of the committee's recommendation, the recommendation for adoption by Councilor Turiel.
Correct.
All those in favor? All those opposed?
opposed?
Councilor Keith voting opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. May I ask for a 1-minute recess?
So moved.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay. Entertain a motion to,
Move to resume the regular meeting?
on Council Turio's motion to resume the meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. We are now returning back to page 6 of our agenda. Communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $30,470.22 from fund balance free cash account to inspectional services emergency demo repair account.
Councilor Turio, may I speak just before you speak? I just want to thank everybody for being so gracious and getting us through the last issue. Thank you very much. Councilor Turio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Councilor Turio moves suspension of the rules. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also move for adoption.
Councilor Turio moves for adoption. Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This deals with a commercial building, a very small commercial building that's right near the corner of Roslyn Street in my ward, where it has been abandoned for some time. We now have a lien on the property, and we'll be securing the work, the emergency work that was done after the roof collapsed to demolish the building. This will be further secured with a lien on the property, so once we find a new taker for the property, it'll come out of that to repay us. So net cost to us is pretty much zero, and we've resolved a safety situation.
Thank you, Councilor Turio. Any further discussion? On Councilor Turio's motion for adoption, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Mayor's informational page.
No, communications from the mayor.
We have
I have two.
We have all the other order. 6.1.
The deadline? Okay. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon. Mayor submitting the proposed fiscal year 2016 budget and capital plan for 2015-2019.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move this be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-post with the Committee of the Whole.
Under discussion.
No discussion, it's a late file.
Oh.
Sorry, I move for suspension of the rules to allow the matter to come before us because of the late file.
Council Torrio moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Council Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I now move to refer to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-post with the Committee of the Whole.
Under discussion.
No discussions, late file.
Okay, on Council Torrio's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, a bond order for the sum of $14,145,000 to pay costs for capital equipment items and capital improvement projects.
Council Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules to allow this to come before council due to late file.
Council Torrio moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Council Torrio.
I also move to refer this Committee on Administration and Finance, co-post with the Committee of the Whole.
On Council Torrio's motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter moves to committee. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, a bond order for the sum of $4,408,715 to pay costs of capital equipment items and capital improvement projects.
Council Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules to allow this matter to come before council due to late file.
Council Torrio moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Council Torrio.
Thank you. I move to refer this to Committee on Administration and Finance, co-post with the Committee of the Whole with no discussion.
On Council Torrio's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an order that the parking department may designate up to 25 spaces in Museum Place parking garage and up to 25 parking spaces in South Harbor garage be reserved permit parking with a permit cost of $1,500 per year.
Council Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules to allow the matter to come before council due to late file.
Council Torrio moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Council Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also move to refer to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-post with the Committee of the Whole.
On Council Torrio's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an order that the City of Salem hereby amends its local room occupancy excise pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 64G, Section 3A, originally accepted by the city on August 10, 1988, by increasing the local room occupancy excise by 1% to the rate of 6%.
Councilor Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for suspension of the rules to allow this matter to come before council due to late file.
Councilor Torrio moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Councilor Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I further move to refer to the Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
On Councilor Torrio's motion, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an ordinance relative to solid waste management, Chapter 36, Section 36-6, collection fee for certain residences is hereby amended by deleting the fee of $15 as it appears in paragraph A and replacing it with the fee of $18 in Section 2, Chapter 36, 36-8. Collection fee for certain commercial establishments is hereby amended by deleting the fee of $22 and replacing it with a fee of $26.50.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for suspension of the rules to allow the matter to come before council due to the late file.
Councilor Segal moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Councilor Segal.
It's a late file. No discussion.
No discussion. On Councilor Segal's motion to move to committee, all those in
Move to
favor?
refer, I'm sorry, move to refer to committee on ordinance license illegal co-posted.
On Councilor Segal's motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an ordinance relative to rates for use of water, Section 1, Chapter 46, Section 66 is hereby amended by deleting subparagraph B in its entirety and replacing it with the following. B, the rate for all water furnished by meter measurements effective July 1st, 2015 shall be as follows. Residential per 100 cubic feet, $2.92. Non-residential per 100 cubic feet, $3.96. And Section 2, Chapter 46, Section 66 is hereby amended by deleting subparagraph E in its entirety and replacing it with the following. E, the minimum rate for residential metered water for each quarter shall be $29.20 per 1,000 cubic feet effective July 1st, 2015.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for suspension of the rules to allow the matter to come before council due to late file.
Councilor Segal moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Councilor Segal.
I move to refer to Committee on Ordinance License Legal, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
On Councilor Segal's motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an ordinance relative to sewer use charges, Chapter 46, Section 230, is hereby amended by deleting subsection C in its entirety and replacing it with the following. C, the rates for sewer use charges effective July 1st, 2015 shall be as follows. Residential per 100 cubic feet, $5.96. Non-residential per 100 cubic feet, up to 25,000 cubic feet per month, $9.03. Non-residential per 100 cubic feet for 25,000 cubic feet and greater per month, $11.56. The use of all water and sewer funds and SESD funds shall be excluded from all private development projects.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for suspension of the rules to allow the matter to come before council due to the late file.
Councilor Segal moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Councilor Segal.
Move to refer to Committee on Ordinance License and Legal, co-posted with Committee of the Whole.
On Councilor Segal's motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, an ordinance relative to boat slips, Section 1, Chapter 10, Section 10-24, D2, is hereby amended by deleting this section in its entirety and replacing it with the following. Fee for slips, $6 per foot of vessel.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for suspension of the rules to allow the matter to come before council due to the late file.
Councilor Segal moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Councilor Segal.
I move to refer to Committee on,
Ordinance.
it says Administrative and Finance, but I'm going to move it to Ordinance License and Legal and co-posted with Committee of the Whole.
On Councilor Segal's motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, ordinance relative to parking meters, Chapter 42, Section 56. Parking meters is hereby amended by deleting parking meters location designations for Congress Street within this section in their entirety and replacing with the following. Chapter 42, Section 56, zones establish Congress Street, east side from intersection of Derby Street and extending to Ward Street 4-hour limit, west side beginning at intersection of Derby Street and Congress Street and extending to Ward Street 4-hour limit, west side beginning at Ward Street intersection and running to the intersection of Harbor Street 4-hour parking.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for suspension of the rules to allow this matter to come before council due to the late file.
Councilor Segal moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Councilor Segal.
I move to refer it to Committee on Ordinance Licenses and Legal, co-posted with Committee of the Whole.
On Councilor Segal's motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
Received after the deadline of Tuesday noon, in order to authorize the mayor to enter into a 10-year contract with Waste Management effective July 1st, 2015 for collection of solid waste and recyclable materials.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move for suspension of the rules to allow the matter to come before council due to the late file.
Councilor Segal moves suspension of the rules. Any objection? Being none, Councilor Segal.
I move to refer to Committee on Ordinance License and Legal, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
On Councilor Segal's motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. I believe that's the end of the late files. Refer them back to page 6, communications from the mayor. I believe that's what, page...
7.
Okay. Page 7, mayor's informational page, being none. Page 8, motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, 28 May 2015, in the council chambers, ordered that the Committee on Government Services meet to discuss commercial flights over Salem departing and approaching Logan Airport.
Thank you, Councilor Legault. Under discussion.
Yes, just briefly, Mr. President. We've recently become aware of some changes in flight routes departing and arriving at Logan Airport over our airspace. And we've also been informed that there's going to be a community advisory committee formed to discuss such matters. So we'd just like to have a meeting so that we can gather some more information and discuss this.
Thank you, Councilor Legault. And for any further discussion, Councilor O'Keefe.
Through you, Mr. President. Councilor Legault was a former member of the Air Force like I was, and he would know that planes have to take off and land in the wind. And as explained to my constituents last week. The planes have got bigger and heavier, and when the wind changes direction at Logan Airport, the planes have to take a different course, and they fly right over my house. You get out of here's the whole thing. So we should have Mass Port Authority come to this committee and explain what's going on. That, they got, I saw one the other day, one of those French planes is enormous, have 300 people on it, and you could hear it, but they have to land and take off in the wind, and when the wind changes direction, the flight plan changes.
Thank you, Councilor Keefe. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to address the good Ward 7 councilor's remarks, Councilor Legault has been doing a tremendous amount of work on this, and he has been in touch, because I know I've been getting the emails. He has been in touch with Massport and the CAC, so I think he's well on top of this, and I think we'll invite the appropriate people, so we'll be well versed in this.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Councilor Keefe, would you think?
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Council President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, Councilor Siegel is correct. Councilor Legault's done a lot of work on this. William Monroe up on Clark Avenue, Clark Street has done a tremendous amount of work and research. We don't know all about it, just something different is going on. State Representative Tucker has also done a lot of work in the last week on this. All I believe is we should have this in committee when all the facts come in and we have enough information to have a meeting, instead of having to put something in committee after the fact. So this will sit there till we get enough information and see what's going on, and then when it's time to have a meeting, it'll be ready to go. Thank you. Okay, on the motion by Councilor Legault to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, May 28, 2015, ordered that the park known as Bill Wilson Park be changed to Bill and Mary Wilson Park.
Under discussion, Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. President. This one's kind of tough. 35 years ago, I didn't have the privilege of knowing my father-in-law, but he passed away suddenly at the age of 63, as is seen in the letter. And at that time, the good neighbors down in my neighborhood decided to name petitioned the then city councilor, George Nowak, and I want to thank the city clerk for pulling this together, to get me all this background information, to change the name of a half-acre parcel of land that happens to sit right in front of my house. And when I look and I read the names on the list, I'm like, yep, I live in the Reed House, because I live at 153 Bayview Ave. It's not where Bob McCarthy and his wife and his kids live, it's the Reed House, because it was always the Reed House, and that's just the way it is sometimes. But unfortunately, my wife's mother passed away this year, and the family came to me and with the neighbors and asked if we could change the name of the park to Bill and Mary. I know they're up there right now looking down at us, and I had the privilege of knowing my mother-in-law for 20 some odd years, and she was a wonderful woman, and I never had the privilege of knowing my father-in-law. But from all undertakings, he was a great man, as you can see in the letter. The 5th of July, this 4th of July would have been 35 years since he passed away, and it'll be the first since she's passed away, and her birthday is the 5th of July, so the family thought it would be fitting that if we renamed the park and had a little ceremony, and all of you were welcome. I went to the Park and Rec Commission and talked to them about it as well, but it's just for the legacy of the family in the neighborhood, it's and for all of the families that live down there and all the friends and all the support. I just want to thank them personally. It was the last couple of years with my mother-in-law were very, for lack of a better word, difficult. They were good and bad. It's hard to see someone go, and it's hard to see someone let go, and it was, but it happened, and I think this will be a great tribute to the two of them and their family and to the neighborhood, because of, 60 plus years in the same house, raised a beautiful family, my wife included, and by the way, dear, happy anniversary, it's my anniversary today.
Oh boy.
21 years. She's put up with me. God knows why. I want to thank the Park and Rec Commission for their overwhelming support when I went to them and asked them initially. And then I want to also thank my niece who contacted the city clerk's office, and prior to I had the opportunity to, because I just run around doing so many things. But to get this on the agenda, get this done, it doesn't seem like a big thing just to rename a park, but for us it is a big thing, and I would just encourage everyone to support it. I mean, she was a wonderful lady, and to have her name up on that sign would just be a big thing, so thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. On this very good motion by Councilor McCarthy, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matter carries. Unanimous. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, May 28th, the resolution against Fast Track, whereas Fast Track Trade Promotion Authority is a type of trade policy that gives the executive branch the opportunity to negotiate out of public view as many trade agreements as it can during a given period of time and send them to Congress, which must then vote yes or no with no amendments within 90 days, whereas under Fast Track, Congress cedes to the executive branch its power under Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution to regulate commerce with foreign nations, whereas Fast Track is an undemocratic process that limits debate and does not allow trade agreements or their implementing bills to be amended or improved in any way, whereas Fast Track is an unaccountable process that limits citizen participation in or knowledge of the details of trade negotiations, whereas Fast Track does not require Congress or any independent body to evaluate a trade deal before finalization of the deal to ensure that it will have a positive impact on the U.S. trade balance, create good family wage jobs, or ensure that the state and local governments can continue to legislate and regulate in the public interest. Whereas no deals have ever been defeated under fast track procedures, whereas ever since the North American Free Trade Agreement, otherwise known as NAFTA, was enacted under fast track procedures, workers across North America, including Mexico and Canada, have experienced downward pressure on wages and greater threats to their ability to organize and collectively bargain, whereas bad U.S. trade deals like NAFTA and the newer Korea FTA have resulted in an unbalanced system in which corporate profits soar even as workers take home a diminishing share of our national income, whereas fast track would apply to trade agreements such as the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which are already being negotiated, even though Congress has not yet weighed in on whether all the participants are appropriate trading partners, whereas fast track has been used to advance trade agreements that do not ensure that all workers can freely exercise their fundamental labor rights, including freedom of association and collective bargaining, thereby encouraging a race to the bottom, whereas whereas trade policies adopted under fast track have cost us more than 1 million jobs, have contributed to more than 60,000 factories shutting down and have exacerbated income inequality here in the United States and around the globe. Whereas trade policies adopted under Fast Track put American families at risk from unsafe imports, including food, pet food, and children's toys. Whereas Fast Track does not require trade deals to include enforceable rules against the use of currency manipulations, which has cost America workers millions of jobs. Whereas the most recent trade deals to become law under Fast Track include a deal with Colombia, a country that fails to protect labor rights, in which nearly 3,000 labor leaders and activists have been assassinated since 1986, and Korea, a country with which we have an increasingly lopsided trade deficit that cost 60,000 jobs in just the first year of agreement, whereas Fast Track provides corporate rights without corporate responsibilities, even failing to ensure that corporations are responsible for labor, environmental, and health and safety violations in their supply chain. Whereas there is a better way to negotiate trade deals so that they promote the creation of decent family wage jobs, encourage shared prosperity rather than skewed benefits for economic elites, protect our environment, ensure the safety of imported food and other products, revitalize our manufacturing sector, and eliminate the separate system of justice for foreign companies that want to sue America. This is known as ISDS, and other provisions that provide corporations with undue influence over the global economy. Salem City Council opposes any fast-track legislation that fails to provide greater openness, robust opportunities for citizens and congressional participation in trade negotiation, and clear accountability mechanisms to ensure the executive branch brings back trade deals that will have a positive impact on the U.S. trade balance, create good family wage jobs, and ensure that state and local governments can continue to legislate and regulate in the public interest. Salem City Council calls upon all federal elected officials representing the City of Salem to oppose any fast-track legislation that gives the executive branch the power to negotiate behind closed doors and a blank check to negotiate bad trade deals that can't be fixed before Congress is required to vote, and Salem City Council, wherever possible, will work to promote better trade rules, a new form of trade negotiation authority that promotes good family wage jobs, protects labor rights for all workers, supports a clean environment, a safe food supply, sustainable growth, and robust public interest policies while ensuring that the negotiating process is democratic, accountable, transparent, and open to the public.
Thank you, Councilor Milo. Under discussion.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Let me first say that this particular resolution has a number of co-sponsors. One is yourself, President Arthur Sargent, also Councilor at Large Tom Fury, Councilor O'Keefe from Ward 7. We also have an at-large Councilor Legault, Councilor Todd Turiel from Ward 3, and Councilor David Epley is absent this evening, but he also signed on as a co-sponsor. I mean, this is self-explanatory. I do think that part of our responsibility as a city council is to raise awareness of these types of national issues that have very local implications. For instance, we mentioned NAFTA in the resolution. As a result of NAFTA, last time around, the North Shore lost tens of thousands of jobs. So this is raising awareness for the public to kind of look as this discussion takes place at the national level and consider the local implications.
Thank you,
sir.
Councilor Milo. Any further discussion? Being none. On the resolution by Councilor Milo, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, May 28, 2015, ordered that the Committee on Community and Economic Development, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, meet for the purposes of establishing an ordinance and guidelines for permitting food trucks to operate in certain areas of Salem. Invited mayor, planner, city solicitor, health agent, and Chamber of Commerce representative.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. Under discussion.
Briefly, Mr. President, this is something that has been kicked around the city for some time. The city at one point went to see if they could interest food trucks in operating out on Winter Island, which was not well received. That's kind of an isolated spot that's very tourist and weather dependent. What we're looking at is ideas for how to take some of the areas of town of the city that do have potential demand and are not well serviced by existing brick and mortar businesses, and experiment there to see if we can if food trucks can be a nice alternative, activate the streets more, get more people out of their offices. And if this goes well, then if we find a good spot and this goes well, then maybe we can expand it further into other areas of the city as we go. But it's going to be a while, and there's going to be community stuff involved. There's going to be community meetings involved. There'll be zoning issues and questions involved, in health issues, and this is to get the ball rolling so we can start to figure it out. This is something that's a great alternative in a lot of cities. A lot of places where I work in my day job have food trucks as part of the options available to workers, and I think it's something that the time has come to start looking at that here.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Turiel. First, Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President. Members of the City Council, I think it's a great idea. However, I recommend he add the fire chief, because these are dangerous operations, these trucks. They're not like the gas grill we have in our backyard that have 20 pounds of propane in them. They have to have 100-pound cylinders in the back of the truck for the burners and grills and what have you. A couple of years ago, I went online and got a couple of ordinances from Washington, San Francisco, and Boston has an excellent orders. But as you know, propane is heavier than air. So if you have a leak in your propane tank at home, it flows like water out your backyard. Natural gas, on the other hand, goes up. So if you have a leak in your gas stove, it goes up in the ceiling of your house. If your house blows up at the top of the house wall, not at the bottom. Propane blows the bottom out. So when you look on TV and you'll see there's an explosion, propane, heavier than air, bottom of the house blows out. Gas, it's hot. They always try to blame the gas company. It's not the gas company, it's these other things going on. However, it's a good idea, but the issue is going to be zoning, where they want to put these things. They probably want one right out on Washington Street in front of the Congressman's new headquarters, probably, allegedly. So we'll see. Good idea. Excellent idea, Councilor Turiel.
Thank you for clearing that up,
Fire
Councilor
Chief.
O'Keefe. No? Any further discussion? Thank you. On the motion by Councilor Toriel to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matter carries. Councilor O'Keefe, please. Councilor O'Keefe. Senior Councilor O'Keefe.
Yes, sir. Councilor Sergeant III.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Sergeant.
City of Salem and City Council, May 28, 2015, ordered that the regular meetings of the City Council for the months of July and August be combined and held on Thursday, July 16, 2015.
Remarks, Council, all in favor?
No
Remarks,
discussion.
Council?
No discussion.
All right. We agree.
Take the vote.
Take the vote.
Take the vote.
All in favor? Opposed? So voted. Unanimous. For a while, unanimous.
That's done. Committee reports. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Committee on City of Salem and the City Council, May 28, 2015. Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred
The order?
the
Oh, yeah.
matter of granting certain licenses, has said,
Sign it?
has considered some matters and would recommend approval. Seaworms, Jose
Item
Betancourt,
says we waive the readings.
Oh, perfect.
We can waive any reading possible from here on in tonight, please.
No problem with that.
Okay. On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further committee reports, Councilor Siegel.
President?
Councilor
If
McCarthy.
if I may,
Yes.
just because I'm going back to our brief committee meeting prior, didn't we eliminate one person from the,
We remained in committee, it's on the
okay,
agenda.
perfect, thank you.
I would have read it, but
Okay,
All set?
perfect.
Thank you very much. Further committee reports, Councilor Siegel.
thank you, Mr. President. This is a short one. City of Salem and the City Council, May 28th. The Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, whom was referred the matter of amending an ordinance relative to Chapter 20, Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 4, Trust Construction, Identification of Building, has considered said matter and would recommend accepting the report.
Thank you. On the substance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
This was something that came in through, I believe, the mayor's office via Chief Cody. And I move for first passage on this.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Councilor Siegel moves for first passage. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. First passage. No further discussion,
No
right?
further discussion.
Further committee reports. Councilor Toriel. Cheryl.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred the, let me find the right here. To whom was referred the, or City of Salem City Council, the Committee on Administration and Finance, to whom was referred the matter of an appropriation, the amount of $25,000 from fund balance free cash to DPS contracted services, as considered the matter and would recommend approval.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an appropriation to deal with some tree removals and repairs throughout the city. There's approximately 12 trees to be removed that suffered severe storm damage over the winter, and another roughly 20 that were damaged and do need repairs and maintenance, and they'll be, doing further work on those.
Thank you, Councilor Toriel. On the motion for adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further committee reports. Councilor Toriel.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, May 28, 2015. The Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of an appropriation and the amount of $6,500 from capital outlay equipment for the purchase of Salem Spins bikes, racks, and signage, has considered said matter and would recommend approval.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed. Oh, sorry.
One
Accept
being
the
opposed?
report. Sorry, jumped ahead.
It's okay. Okay, on adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had the city planner and the sustainability manager, Jeff Ely, in here to discuss this one earlier. The Salem Spins program has been a pretty successful program with approximately 1,000 trips per year out of the Hawthorne Hotel location, about another 300 out of the newly added location out at the Salem Ferry Terminal in the last year. Cost of its maintenance costs on that they've dealt with have been fairly low. This is unlike the programs in Boston, Cambridge, and some of the bigger metropolitan areas. This is a very small, low budget, simple program. You go into the location that's managing it and present your ID and credit card, sign a waiver, and then you can go off and ride around and bring it back. So it's been pretty successful. Residents have used it. Visitors have used it. My colleague from Ward 2 used it so much that she bought her own bicycle, and done well. We've had some demand, and people have asked for a more central downtown location, so they've been working on ideas for that. The initial idea was to put it on the walkway outside of the City Hall here and have it managed by City Hall. That's got very limited hours of operation, so they're looking at perhaps using the YMCA or somebody else as the manager for it. But this appropriation is to acquire the bikes, racks, and signage necessary to build this, acquire some more bikes for the program, and also be able to promote it so that hopefully visitors from the city will come in on the train, walk into town, rent a bike, and then go off and explore.
Thank you, Councilor Torriello. On adoption of the, under discussion, Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to share with you that in committee I voted against this. Very briefly, my two concerns were the liability to the city and the timing of the request given the budget challenges that we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Milo. Any further discussion? Councilor Famico.
I'm in support of this, however, I would like from the planning department an updated maintenance schedule or plan for these bikes. As we know, the ones down on the ferry have already started rusting, and some other locations, chains tend to fall off, and it's not until someone's out biking about that we're noticing these problems. So I would like to receive from the planning department what they're planning to do for maintenance and to receive that in writing as well for their assurance that they will be taken care of.
Thank you, Councilor Famico. Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm also opposed to this. I know it's only $6,500, but as we saw, there are a bunch of ordinances that came in, and all taxes and fees look like they're going to be raising again for yet another year. So before I vote to spend money that we don't have, because if we had it, we wouldn't be raising all these fees. That's why I would say no on this.
Thank you, Councilor Siegel. Any further discussion? On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? Be opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Communications from city officials.
We have an appropriation in the amount of $10,000 submitted by Ms. Jane Guy, Assistant Community Development Director for CPA, for the CPA funds for fiscal year 2016 account.
Councilor Torriello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to refer this to Committee on Administration and Finance, co-post with Committee of the Whole.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just very briefly, this is something that came in with with the package. We'd had plenty of time to consider all the previous funding requests they'd made. The CPA committee decided that they were willing to increase the funding to the House of Seven Gables somewhat for their roof project because a grant that had been anticipated didn't come through. But it just came in. We haven't really had a chance to look at it, so I'd like to send it to the committee.
On Councilor Torriello's motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Petitions.
We have a petition from Comcast to install a conduit at 288 Derby Street.
Hearing order June 11, 2015. Further petitions.
We have a request from the residents of Oliver Street to hold a block party on July 4th, 2015 from noon to 8 p.m.
Councilor Famico.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move this be granted, and also I'd like to say I'm thrilled that this part of the Common is holding its first block party. It's being held, put together by the owners of Roost, right in our downtown. They contacted me and they're reaching out to some other neighborhoods as well. So knowing the creative nature of them, I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with for this block party.
Just on Oliver Street, right? Any further discussion? Being none. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a list of license applications for public guides, taxi cabs, and taxi operators.
Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move that they be granted.
Under discussion.
No discussion.
Being none, any further discussion? Being none, on Council Segal's motion, these licenses be granted. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have a list of claims.
Councilor Segal.
Mr. President, move they're referred to Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs.
On Councilor Segal's motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Further petitions.
We have one constable bond and one sign bond.
Councilor Segal.
Thank you, Mr. President, move to refer to Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs.
Under discussion?
No discussion.
Being none, on Councilor Segal's motion to move this to committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 50B, handicap parking, limited time for Ober Street.
Councilor Milo, standing in for Councilor Epley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for second and final passage.
Councilor Milo moves for second and final passage. All those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. The matter carries. Councilor Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Point of personal privilege, earlier this evening, when I was talking about this resolution that we all brought in, and I mentioned one of our co-sponsors, I apologize to the Ward 3 councilor. I know his name is Todd Segal, so I just want to thank you and I apologize.
We didn't even notice.
Wink.
Senior Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, point of personal privilege first before I move for adjournment.
Yes, Councilor O'Keefe.
Do I have the floor?
Yes, Councilor
Oh,
O'Keefe.
we all have a copy of Chief Butler's letter that Michael Wayne sent to Chief Butler about his mother falling down a flight of stairs up on Nursery Street. And it just shows you our fire and police department. Police Officer Gagnon and Engine 2, which is on North Street, help Mrs. Wayne get proper medical care. And it's nice that we see these letters from constituents about our police and fire department. Move for adjournment.
Thank you, Councilor O'Keefe. On Councilor O'Keefe's motion for adjournment, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.